page 88 in your book, in chapter 3, you say that Christian hedonists are aware that self-consciousness kills joy and therefore kills worship. And my question, kind of growing out of a personal struggle with me for a long time, is that I overanalyze my worship experience, in part because I'm aware that my worship of God is not what it ought to be, and it's not doing full justice to his glory. So I was wondering, is there a healthy way to, like as Lamentations 3:49 says, examine our ways and return to the Lord without constantly killing our worship by dissecting it? Because as soon as we start to, examine this experience, we've just taken ourselves out of the experience.
That's a good way to put it. The answer is yes. There is a healthy way to do self-examination, because the Bible says we should examine ourselves, and it wouldn't tell us that if there weren't a healthy way to do it. So yes, there is. Examine yourself, Paul said, to see if you're in the faith. And Jesus said to the Pharisees, with your lips you honor me and your heart is far from me. And surely they were to infer from that, I've got a problem that needs to be dealt with. And you can't know you have a problem unless you look at the problem. And you're pointing out, if you look at the problem, you don't worship. So I think part of the yes is timing. There's a season for everything under heaven. And the time of self-examination is not 9:45 on Sunday morning in this room. And I say 9:45 because that's the crescendo of the worship singing. Well, why not? Why not? I mean, if your worship is inauthentic and you're supposed to know it and fix it, wouldn't that be the ideal time to find out if I'm authentic? No, it wouldn't. For the reason you said. As soon as you do self-analysis or introspection, and Scott Hubbard, who might be here, one of the writers at DG, is writing a whole book on introspection, self-examination, because it's a huge issue everywhere. As soon as you do it, you become two people, right? There's the me trying to worship, and there's the me watching me worship. And as soon as that happens, you're done. Right? You're done. An authentic person is one. Unified, not self-conscious. Joy happens in souls that are fixed on an object of beauty or greatness or loveliness, or something about the object is calling them out of themselves and filling them with praise or regret or some kind of emotion that's being pulled out of them. And in that moment of authenticity, they're not watching themselves do it. So that's not the time to try to watch yourself. You might at that moment be a hypocrite, but that's not the time to test. The time to test is before and after. And to ask the Lord, am I real? Is what I was doing real? And is what I'm about to do real? So how do you move on from there? I mean, this is huge. And it's not just worship, it's everything you do. You want to be all in with everything you do. You want to be two people. You want to have a conversation with your wife, and you're watching the conversation over here. Why'd she say that? Or what about that tone of voice?
Disassociation, then there's
to this moment.
That's scary.
What life is at its best. So nobody lives that way perfectly. Mm-hmm. Every one of us struggles with this. Mm-hmm. We are divided. Sin has wrecked us. I'm an old man and a new man. And Paul just deals with that straight up. We've got to put the old man to death. We've got to do our best to become authentic through and through. And we've succeeded more or less. And lots of times it's less. So my counsel for you, and really me and all of us, is IOUS, which is what I use for prayer and devotions in the morning. I think applies across the board. That's my little acronym. And these are 4 prayers from the Bible. I incline my heart to your testimony and not to getting gain. So I'm pleading with the Lord. Let's just apply it to worship. Sunday morning, God, as I walk in here, that door right there, we come in at about 3 minutes before 9. As I come in, may my heart be leaning in. Do that. That's a gift. That's a gift. Authenticity and self-forgetfulness is a gift. You can't make it happen. It's a contradiction to make it happen, right? You're thinking about yourself. Stop thinking about elephants. Stop thinking about elephants. Stop thinking about elephants. It's not a way to stop thinking about elephants. Second, open my eyes to see wonderful things out of your law. Psalm 119:18. So I'm over there, my wife, and I'm praying. We're going to sing in just a minute. Open my eyes to see the truth and beauty of these lyrics. You unite my heart to fear your name, and that goes to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? Because I'm split. I'm split, and I'm pleading with God, unsplit me. Make me whole, make me united. Give me authenticity and integrity. And then IOUS, satisfy me with your steadfast love. And I like to say it's really IOUS. And add a couple more S's. Like send me at the end of the service. So follow that with rivet your focus on Christ, not yourself. We all know that as soon as you're looking at your stomach to see if there are any good feelings there, they're gone. And then I wrote another little book called When the Darkness Does Not Lift. If it still feels like it's not working, it's not working. I'm way too conscious of myself, and I don't think I could ever be integrated and authentic. And I would just say, be patient. Be patient. God will come. He will come in due time and give you the gift of self-forgetfulness.
All right, so Dr. Piper, my